Oh man, how's it going, everybody? This has been an adventure of a morning, let me tell
It's
you.
hard to believe that Mint.
So good to see you. Just kind of decided I have a little bit of time to unwind before I go record my podcast. I think of about an hour and 15 minutes or so. So I figured, got some time. I'm gonna mess with some decks. Why not mess with some decks with some friends, with an audience? So hopefully this is somewhat entertaining. Hopefully we learn something. I don't know if we will or not, but it's part of the process. So we got to try, right? I also got to go in here and mark this Demir deck because we put this up today. I've got a mono green. I got some footage of that for, I think, tomorrow's video. Either that or mono black control. I don't know. Maybe we play that for a little bit next. Because I don't know if this is really even any good. I'm kind of just like goofing off with some ideas and concepts on this. So, I mean, it's probably fine. I mean, it's playing Meat Hook and stuff because that card's insane. But I don't know. Maybe we goof around with this for a little bit. We'll see what we can find. And if not, if it doesn't work, well, fine. We'll just play something else. This is the whole reason I build all these decks, because something's got to give. Right? Keep trying to find new things. And that's why I tell y'all, like, large amount of what I do probably never even gets seen on camera. Enjoying the new standard. Yeah, new standard's good. I mean, I have a feeling we're going to come down to being a bunch of Jeskai decks and Meat Hook decks for a little while, which is a little bit disappointing. But, other than that, I think it's pretty good. Hello, Gurel and Azer. How's it going? Yeah, we'll keep this. This is a reasonable start. I did not want another Meat Hook Massacre, though. That's not cool. What do I think of the top 3 best? I don't even have a clue. Short stacks. I don't honestly trying to figure out the best 3 decks in the first 2 weeks of the format is going to do you more harm than good, because those numbers of everything and even what those decks look like is going to change drastically in the first like 14 days or so. Because a lot of decks and choices are predicated on what the other decks are doing, and until everybody knows what that is, certain decks aren't going to be able to make the best choices. Yeah, we just attack. I guess I'll go ahead and sack this. I should have attacked with this last turn. I don't know why I didn't. I was too busy talking. Let's just make treasures. Looks very similar to Hearthstone. I guess in a way Hearthstone looks very similar to Magic. But yeah, I get what you're saying though. Like, the thing is, the Hearthstone layout kind of makes sense because it's just a matter of like you only have so much real estate on the screen, you know? Yeah, not really much we could do with this, sadly. I mean, I could have played this untapped so we could kill the creature and gain some life whenever they crew that, but yeah, this is just going to be pretty bad for us, unfortunately. Really would have been nice to draw like a Planeswalker or something there, so I had something to do with all this extra mana, but right now I have a bunch of cards that don't do anything. Oh, that card's single-handedly bad for us. That is not going to be good. Guess if we're going to do that, we just play this, put this in tapped, and then sadly just pass. Metagame challenge. Well, good luck in that. Hope you do well. I actually can't even remember the last time I played a single event of any kind in Arena. Seriously. Not that I hate them or anything. It's just like I'm so busy working on other stuff that I just don't get around to playing them most of the time. I mean, that's all good. I don't know if I want to waste a card on that. I don't know how, like, I don't even think we beat them with this. Like, I'm just going to attack just to try to just end it and just see where this goes. Yeah, I'll use a treasure. Why not? Man, assume you make a duder? Yeah, alright. I mean, we have back-to-back Meat Hooks, but it doesn't really do much here with the opponent being at 16. Says you have all the cards in your deck that are not in standard, but all my cards are. Not sure what to tell you about that. That feels like maybe shut down the program and restart. Hey, Davey. Alright, we're going to take 5 here. And now Meat Hook's a bit difficult. Now I'm getting punished for using that treasure earlier. Because that comes into play tapped. I need to Meat Hook for 3 if I want to kill that. So I can still... No, I can't actually. I'd be 1 short. Because this makes things cost more. So yeah, I can only do this for 2 right now. And I have to wait a turn to do it for 3. So I guess if we want to, we go ahead and just kill Reanimator here. Not like the most exciting thing, but sure. And that's mostly fine, I guess. Not to say they don't have another one. But yeah, I'm not sure. I don't think mono black's really the way to go, though. I really shouldn't be playing this. I think if you're going to play it, it needs to be black-red or black-white. I think that's the real deal. Because just mono black, like, there's enough enchantments and stuff floating around right now that you're just not going to have answers to a lot of that stuff. I mean, technically, this is just black. It has red, but mostly for 1 copy of Tybalt and 2 Hitixugu. That's really it. Like, it's really just a black deck. We're just splashing to cast 1 thing and an activation on another thing. Oh, well, that's cute. I guess it's good we have 2 Meat Hooks then. I guess it wouldn't really matter because we only have to Meat Hook for 2. Unless they have a land. We'd have to Meat Hook for 3, I guess. That is a cool looking treasure. Check that out. Matter of fact, I'm going to use the fancier, more expensive Meat Hook next turn. How you like that, opponent? Yep. And exactly, if you attack, I block, because I'm going to lose this anyway. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I could still do what I want to do. And at this point, I think I'm just going to go get... Oh man, do I just go ahead and get this now? Mascot Exhibition? I guess I might as well. There's not really much else worth getting here. I'll eventually draw another land, I suppose. Alright, well, we got to use this treasure, so we'll fancy Meat Hook for... Oh, actually, wait. Yeah, I can do that for 3. And if they pump their team or something here, they just do. I mean, what are we going to do about it? Alright. Gain some life. Just started learning MTG roughly a month or 2 ago, and you've been so much help. Wow, I'm glad. I always hope people are able to get better, advance, learn from some of the stuff I'm putting up. Hallowed Haunting. Gonna be even more annoying. Yep. Kind of just gonna have to try to exhaust all the opponent's cards at this point. This is the problem when you're playing mono black. Like, there's just so many of those, and I'm guilty. Like, I put a lot of this out into the world myself with those enchantment decks, so I can't say anything. But you really do end up in a situation where you're kind of stuck in a lot of ways. Okay, what do I want to do here? I mean, I can do this next turn. I probably Bankbuster can still kill something, so that's fine. But then what? Opponent's at 16. Alright, I guess we just have to pass. Not great. Not great by any stretch. I wish I had another untapped land. Would have been nice that turn, because then I would have been able to play this and get rid of this and instant speed, which would have been pretty cool. I mean, admittedly, I could have just not done anything. Instead of playing this, I could have left mana up to kill that, which arguably could have been smarter. I mean, because we're going to take a big hit here, most likely. Sure. Actually, if I kill this now, hold on. All right, let's go 1, 2, 3. So I gain 3 life. Mostly so they don't have an easy way to crew. I mean, they could double pump, but then it's just 4 damage anyway. So that's fine. Alright. And they'll get a card at the end of turn. Borrowed time for the Bank Buster. Alright, cool. Don't hate it. This is a long, grindy game. Sorry, this is the one we had to start with. I'll play something else that's more fun after this, y'all. Like, this is way too long and way too grindy for y'all to have to sit through. Seriously. I am going to just play another one of these. And let's do it for... I guess 4 doesn't really hurt anything. Just in case. Leaving 2 mana up in case somehow they give us a artifact or something we can sacrifice to it. It doesn't matter which one we keep. It's kind of all the same. Alright. Now what I'm kind of hoping for here is we can play Mascot Exhibition. Actually, they're probably holding a Doomscar. So Mascot Exhibition is actually no good here. I probably just have to attack with Hive of the Eye Tyrant. That's probably our only real out. Super unfortunate. But that might be all we can do. Oh, that Angel's going to be the death of us. Yep. I mean, I have some outs, but they're getting slim. If I was the opponent, I might have just played Angel. Especially knowing what we have here, like, that feels like that would have been smarter. And then you just load up to get me next turn. Yeah, we should just be dead here. I mean, even if we get a Blood on the Snow, I mean, we're trading a Blood on Snow to get back, like, I don't know, Eye Twitch. And that's not great. And we kind of missed the point. We spent too many turns not doing anything, actually. I just realized we really didn't even cast as much here, except for Meat Hook Massacres. So yeah, I'm just going to move along. We lost that one. There's no way we're coming back from that one. But yeah, I don't think mono... Like, you can play mono black. Like, we didn't get a good draw there. But I feel you're better off playing black white or black red or some such. I think is a stronger situation. So, if I'm going to do this, what I want to do is... Let's... I was thinking I might want to swap a Smelter... Hey, Carl. For... something. Yeah, and by the way, for any of y'all that are following me on socials with the knucklehead that went stupid on social media today, he's already had his partnership removed from Facebook, and one of his other management companies has also removed him. And I have, on good authority, there's a couple other things coming down the pipe that are not public yet. I kind of want to play, but this doesn't have as much value here because we don't have anything of size that we can get to do any real damage with it. It's just mostly a 4/4 body. So I don't think we're going to add that to this list. I don't know, chat, what kind of deck do y'all want to see in action right now? Because I can put together a lot, and I have a lot. So I've still got, an hour left? So I will let y'all decide what we're going to do. What you want to see. Because we have a lot of options. So I'm gonna leave that in y'all's camp. Because we have a lot of choices. I mean, I'm even working on weird other decks. Like, weird enchantment variants where we're trying different things. Like, I don't know if this is even a deck, but it's something I'm working on with like +1/+1 counters and all that. So, like, maybe it's a thing. Um, yeah, there's just a pile of stuff we can do. So yeah, like, I don't know. There's a lot of things. Um, Jund Dragons isn't really a deck, right? I mean, I have Jund Treasure. Like we did this a couple days ago. I have a YouTube video on it, Jerry. Like this would basically be the same deck. I would just swap like a Chariot and maybe Oni Cult Anvil and something else and just put in 3 or 4 more dragons. Like it would basically be the same deck. Like you're playing the fast mana into dragons. Maybe swap like the Valkyries for a couple of what's her name's Magdas. But otherwise it'd be mostly the same. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think Tezzeret's great right now, Lawrence. I think. I mean, I have one with Tezzeret in it. We can play it, but I don't think Tezzeret's great. I'm sure there's some deck where it works, but so far every time, and I mean, I put it in a list too because I'm gonna try it. But pretty much every time I've seen Tezzeret in action, it's just not been threatening. And I don't know why, to be honest. Like, because it has words that sound like it should be good. So I can't even pinpoint for you yet why. I don't know if it's just slow for the ability you get. Maybe it's because the +1 ability doesn't really protect it. So you have to end up going to minus. And that's kind of the thing. Yeah, it might be better in other formats. For sure. I mean, if you're playing modern, playing Pioneer, maybe even in Historic, it probably is really good. But yeah, I have an idea. Like my problem is I have an idea for a Samurai deck, but it mostly is just going to be it's really a warrior equipment deck that happens to play like 6 or 7 Samurai cards. I mean, like it's not really a Samurai. Like the problem is I think people want a Samurai deck, right? That plays Samurai creatures, and the goal is to win with attacking with one big Voltron Samurai thing every turn. But I don't think that's the best way to play Magic in 2022, right? I think trying to go both wide while also trying to go tall with a single creature is not the best way, because now you're just susceptible to everything, right? What I'm thinking, like, if we were going to do it, and I'll just pop a quick list together. I don't know. I'm going to try to make this up on the fly. But let's say we wanted to do this. So you start with Rabbit at 1. Maybe the little Goblin Warrior dude. This guy. I don't know if he's going to stay on the list or not. Let's go with Warriors real quick. And put in... maybe Usher the Fallen. I don't know. Depends on how... Yeah, probably Usher, I guess. I don't know. Maybe we play Usher and not Fireblade Charger. Might be the deck too. There's a lot of different things you can try, even in Standard. I don't think that's it, Carl. I think the problem is Standard. I think the problem is for the cards that make you. I think you need more small, efficient artifacts and things to make Tezzeret be great. I think Tezzeret's time might be better. I think it's playable. Remember, I'm not saying the card's garbage or anything, but I think it's going to be better as the year progresses and Standard gets a better selection of artifacts. Right? We have a whole Brothers War coming in September, October, right? We know that's going to be about artifacts. It's 2 artificers that are battling each other or whatever, right? So that will probably be Tezzeret's time to shine, right? Assuming we're back to playing paper Magic at some point in 2022 in most places, I would probably pick up some Tezzerets on the cheap if you could, knowing there's a chance down the road that they're going to be very good. Tameo and Eska token duplicate. You can do that with my Bant list I posted a couple days ago. It has those and Ren and 7 in it. So already ahead of you. If you want to go do that, let me get the link for you even. It was from just a couple days ago. So there it is. I said a couple days ago. It was yesterday. Man, since COVID, I can't keep track of time. No joke. Here you go. Here's the Bant list that has that in there. There you go. All right. So let me see. Would definitely would play the samurai that lets you sacrifice to protect something, because this is like the good samurai. Truthfully, I would play maybe some number of core Blade Master. Like, because my thing is, if you're already going to play equipment, then it sort of makes sense to play the Blade Master, because if you get more stuff with double strike and you get to attack multiple times because you have like Ryu or something in play, then like maybe that's a thing. I again don't know, just kind of making this up as we go, so we'll see. What other things would we play here? Probably have to play the other equipment thing. We'll come back. We'll look at equipment in a second. Let me shrink this down to just red and white, because we're not going to be playing anything else here. And honestly, the tough thing is, I mean, we could play Ishin, but I don't even know if it's worth playing Ishin or not. For real. Let me put this on center. There we go. Now we'll get a much more condensed look at things. How many... there's not that many great things to play. I mean, definitely we'd play a couple copies of Akiri. Did I not get one of the new legendary chicks? Or is she only a samurai and not a warrior? Am I wrong on that? She might not be a warrior. She might only be a samurai. Well, that's going to be a problem. Huh. The one that attacks with haste and then gets indestructible. I swear I thought she was also a warrior. Maybe, well, none of the samurais are. They just have the word warrior in the text. They're like human samurai. Yeah, that's a little bit disappointing. Not what I was expecting. Alright, well. That makes this a little less easy to do. I thought creatures were a different type than they were. I guess you could get away with a couple of Halvar. I mean, we could play a Blade Historian. I don't know if that's really where you want to be in this type of deck, but... I mean, there's probably just no room. If we're playing Halvar and Ryu, there's really not going to be any space. And then it's like, are we even playing any actual true spot removal in this deck? Or are we just all aggression all the time? Right? Like, that's the other thing. I mean, actually, you know what we really need? We need Maul. That's what we need. And then just look up Samurai and see what we want to do. We could play the Wandering Emperor. Honestly, Wandering Emperor is probably better than some of the stuff we have in the list right now. Yeah, there's not a lot. Not a lot of choices. We could play one or two of these. She at least has haste, so that's a thing. And then there's Ishins. I could craft these, but just like... And playing black's not the worst thing. We could just splash lands, like all the pathways or whatever that would let us do it. So it's not like there's a lost opportunity cost, really, to play it. But yeah, I don't really know. The red-white X-Spell that makes a bunch of samurai. Like this thing? Create X samurai creature token with vigilance. They gain menace and haste until in their turn. Each opponent creates X -1. I mean, but then your opponent gets a bunch of them too. And theirs get vigilance while yours just get menace and haste. So like, you can play it, but like, if you do this for 4, then your opponent gets 3 things. You get 4 things. You would need, and they can block one of them. So you're basically paying 6 to deal 6. And then your opponent also has 3 creatures, well now 2 creatures to attack you back with. Right? Like I don't know if I like that. That feels weird. Yeah, Goro is probably solid. Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about that. Like like somewhere this is a solid card, right? This makes sense to where maybe you have enter the battlefield triggers or something, or whatever, and this actually makes sense. I would say even if this gave all your samurais menace until end of turn or something, that would probably still be good. But it's just the 2/2s that you make. So I'm not... Yeah, that's exactly it too, Jasmine. Like you want to play this on the turn you can win, right? Like if you can play it and maybe you do it for 6 and you can get in 6 or 7, 8 damage, then like maybe that's enough. Like, such a tough thing. But then you're also hoping that your opponent doesn't have any additional creatures, right? Because if they have if they have any extra creatures, then this card's not that good. Because then you're giving them more things that make it easier for them to block all your things, right? So I think there's a lot of scenarios. This card's just very awkwardly worded. It's basically a card that creates its own fight scene. Like, you get dudes, your opponent gets dudes, and now they all go to battle. And you have them outnumbered by 1 or whatever. Like, it's a very awkward card. And that's assuming the opponent doesn't have anything that cares about creatures entering the battlefield or anything that they can pump their creatures with or anything. You know what I mean? Like, you need a lot of things to go right for this to be really good for you. I'm sure there's a use for it. I just don't know what it would be or if it's exceptional, I think is the problem. It has to be rare just because of how it works. So that makes sense. And this is probably a fun card for limited, I guess. But even then, why would I play this card if I'm playing the Anthems? I would just play better cards. Honestly, why would I even play? I would just play probably the what is that? The Expel from Crimson Vow. Not Crimson Vow, from Midnight Hunt. I'd probably just play that and just deal the damage straight up to my opponent. Like, I could pay 6 potentially to maybe do 4 damage, or I could just deal 5 to your face. Right? Or get rid of a problematic creature or whatever. So, like, if I'm going to play an Expel, I'd just play the one that just does the damage. I wouldn't play the one that's just going to make me some creatures that may not do anything. Don't think Samurai's decks, to be honest. There's just no real payoff for being a tribe. My assumption right now is Samurai and Ninja are each going to get at least 2 cards with the Alchemy drop in 2 weeks. That's what I'm thinking is going to happen. I don't think Uprising's a good Magic card. I think you were going to... Like, here's the thing. I get it when people want... Because, you know, we put different things on the channel and we try different cards. And people go, oh, this card's neat. Build a deck for me with this. The problem is this card's just not worth wasting the time on. Like, the problem is any amount of mana you're going to spend on this card, there's probably something better you can do. Right? Almost at every level. You're not going to want to... You could play it for 1. I mean, you could pay 3 mana to make a 2/2 with haste and menace, and your opponent gets none. So, like, that's reasonable. You paid 3 mana for a 2/2 with 2 abilities. That's solid on rate. But then once you pay 4, all right, well, now I made the same thing and my opponent got a creature. I got 1 more. But for that same 4, would I rather just have like the new 4/4 dragon? Would I rather have any of the dragons that cost 4 for that matter? You know what I mean? At 5, I could make 3 ground dudes, give you 2 dudes, or I could just play Goldspan Dragon. And then once it's larger than that, I could just hit you with an Expel. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just... At every cost, except for literally at 3, you can probably find something better to do with your mana that's harder for your opponent to deal with. Or a more resilient creature. Or especially in the Meat Hook meta where your creature dies, you can get something. You know what I mean? Like, I guess in some world, if you had a way to produce a pile of mana, I don't know what pile would be. Let's say like 20, right? If you had a way to produce a pile of mana and you got 20 or you got 18 things and your opponent got 17 things, they could block 8 of those things and then you could kill them. Like, something like that could probably work. Go watch us play with it for 2 hours to get 3 wins. That's probably fair. He does like doing the against the odds stuff, right? But that's what I'm saying. Like, if we had a way to generate mana, then this becomes a finisher. Because, like, there is a way. There is a way. And it's super terrible in the current metagame. But if you wanted to play Burgi, here, hold on. I'll bring him up on camera. Right? So, if you wanted to play this, along with this, then with these 2, you could play this, generate mana when it comes into play, keep bouncing it, with the free red mana, but even then, that just triggers when it comes into play. You don't even get ahead, actually. Yeah, it doesn't really do anything. You would need even more than that. You would need something else that triggered when it came into play. So yeah, that doesn't even work. So yeah, that's. I thought I was gonna help you out there. That doesn't even do it. But you wouldn't even need to meat hook. If you have infinite mana, you just uprising and then just attack. Like, your opponent can only ever block roughly half of what you actually make creature-wise. So once you make 18 to 20 plus, they can only block half and then you just kill them. So like, you don't even need meat hook. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you had a way to generate the mana, then that card is fine on its own. But without generating the mana, it's not very good. Patrick said, I just want to say thanks for the content you put out. Really appreciate your hard work. Thank you so much. Especially when we see the knuckleheads going around the internet today. It's nice to have people that support people making good content. You could combo it with Explosive Singularity. Does that work? Explosive Singularity says, well, no, that's not a combo. Why, like, again, why would I not just spend the mana to just cast a Singularity? I would just play another Singularity. like, that's what I'm saying. We keep saying, like, here's a thing you can do with it. But literally, unless you're generating a pile of mana to make the creatures to attack with, I don't know why I would want that over just some other spell with the same mana cost, right? You could spend... This costs 10, right? We could spend 10 on... We could make 8 2/2s, and our opponent gets 7 2/2s, and then we hope we can kill them. They could block half, roughly. So let's say 4 get through, you dealt 8. Or you could just play this and deal 10 and you don't give your opponent any creatures. But you know what I'm saying? I'm talking about at that casting cost, though, right? Like, why would I want to play this, make creatures, attack, and then play Singularity, right? Like, or I could just play Singularity on back-to-back turns. That would just be better. If you wanted to, go follow my Twitter. Say, man, I'm not bringing it up on this stream. This is a positive stream. So you can go over to my Twitter account, also PowrDragn, and you can read about it there. I posted it like 4 hours ago. Yeah, so green-white with AO and Kura at the top end. Do those even do anything in the same... Like, why are we playing those together? I mean, are we playing them just to play them? Look at that 7 cards. Put any number non-land permanents, total amount of 4 or less, or among them onto the battlefield. Put the rest on the bottom. Put 2+1/+1 counters on each permanent you control. That's a creature or a vehicle. I mean... I guess? Oh, it's green. I guess? Like, I mean, you're not wrong. Like, it's a thing you can do. But, like, is that better than anything else green-white is doing right now? You know what I mean? I feel like if we're ramping into these just so we can do it, then we're just going to do it, right? Like, if we're going to do that, we're basically saying, like, we're trying to play green-white dragons or something. But, like, also trying to ramp into the thing that's both legendary is not great. Because you don't get that many creatures that you can, like... I think I need a justification on why. Like, what is it we're attempting to do other than just play the 2/5 cost dragons? I think that's my problem. I think you had something where you could sacrifice some to do damage or whatnot, or use something else, it would be okay, but red-white doesn't really do that. Yeah. But again, I think it's more about just what you're getting for the cost. Like, you're getting a very small upside while still giving your opponent something. Whereas most other things you're going to play at that cost only give you something and help you just end the game faster, right? Unless, like I said, it's a pile of mana, and if you can find a way to generate a lot of extra mana, then it doesn't matter, because you can just make a number of creatures big enough your opponent can't do anything about it. Haven't played Sky Turtle. That will probably come down the road, mostly because I'm not excited about the card. I feel like anything I do with the Sky Turtle is not going to be fun. Like, not that it's not going to be good. Completely different things. I just don't see what I would do with it. That would be a fun deck to showcase for people or for people to play against. So I try to go through all the things I think are interesting and unique and different, or things I know people want to see or whatever. I do all that first, and then mid-season, I go, all right, let me do one of these like grindy control decks. You know, let me do this weird like 3 or 4 card things that go together that might be a thing or whatever, and make that work. So like I can spend time working on those in the background for like 2 or 3 weeks, and then by the time I flesh out all the other ideas, like that one's probably ready to go or something. You could showdown. Showdown's relevant. Have good creatures who get good benefits from dying to meat hook. You can. You could also just play like the equipment creatures. Like those are fine because they survive stuff like meat hook. Haste creatures are also good against meat hook. Like there's a bunch of things you can do. I mean, I don't think either of those are bad. I just don't know if I would put them in the same type of deck. Like if I'm ramping, I'm probably just playing stuff like Felidar retreats and whatever, which are also good against meat hooks. You know what I mean? Like those are just resilient to those decks anyway. So I'd probably start out doing that and then play either or of those 2 cards. Like I'm probably not playing both dragons, but I'm probably playing one of them. Because otherwise, you're probably playing 3 to 4 copies of each, probably 3 of each. Plus, you're playing like Felidar retreats. So now you're already talking 10 cards that cost 4+ mana, 6 of them that cost 5+. Like, you start getting really tight, and that leads to some very awkward draws. So I'd probably only want a couple of things at the top end unless they were super impactful. And then, you know, spend the rest kind of making the rest of that work. But I'd probably play one of them, not both of them, I don't think. Can we play any Prismari big spells things going with the new X-Spell support? Prismari big spells. I'm not sure. You mean like Hullbreaker and stuff? Or what are we talking about as far as big... Oh, new X spells. I don't really know what you're asking for. I'm a little confused. Been trying to work on ideas with Umezawa, but haven't found any sauce yet. You're talking about the guy that gives things ninjutsu? Probably not worth it. It's actually not one of the best ninjas, honestly. The other ninjas are mostly fine. Umezawa's like more of a commander card. Just try to make that your commander in Commander and try to do some fun things. That's probably your best bet. Oh, no, I'm with you. Like, I get the big spell, but what X spells are we trying to play? Like, that was the part I was confused on in the statement. Like, what new X spells are there? Because, like, I mean, there's like, what is it? Light Up the Night? I don't even know where they put that. I think that's what it's called. Oh, I put it the wrong title. There we go. Like, there's this thing. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of that I'm probably playing as far as X spells. Like, I feel like if there was a way we could make, what is that? The Affliate work? Like, if I had some way to put the big new, like, invoke spells in the graveyard and could protect this and play it for free, this would be cool. Though every deck I built with this in Standard was really bad. Like, I think I've built 4 or 5 and all of them were really bad. Like, enough that people never even saw them on streams, much less in a YouTube video. They were really bad. Oh, you're thinking about the marches? Do these work with... Why? These don't really work with Magma Opus, right? Because this is just get another creature. This is get extra spells off top of the library. This is kill a thing, gain life. This is phase something, and this is exile something. Yeah. I don't... I'm trying to see the connection of the cards. I think that's where I'm getting lost here. I'm not sure. Like, I mean, I don't mind playing the Blue March in the same deck because Blue March is just a fine card. I mean, it could buy you a couple turns, but I'm not so sure. Flame Painter, good with the copy. Well, sort of, Jack, but it's just like you have to be able to put stuff in the yard and get the vehicle and have the Affliate live and then be able to crew your other thing so it copies the Affliate. Like, there's a lot of ifs in that scenario, right? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, there are things you can do with the Affliate that are strong. Problem is, every one of them takes setup that almost never becomes a realization. Let's see. The invoke spell's like one copies a thing. Yeah, this copies two things out of the graveyard. This can draw a card, your opponent lose life, whatever, for copying this. This just lets you straight up steal stuff. This one lets you make 4 or 5 creatures. This one returns stuff from the graveyard to the battlefield, and you get counters. So, like, these could be relevant. Like, some combination, especially of these two and that one, like, they do some things. But I don't know if that's worth even trying to set up, is the problem. Oh, you're talking about in this deck? Maybe we could Nahiri. I would not be opposed to that. I don't know if there's room for a Nahiri, though. I think is the issue. I'm going to come back and finish looking at Samurai real quick. I think this deck probably needs at least a second Rezona, which is a little bit sad. I mean, I'd have to craft one of those. That's fine, though. Like, I mean, do we just, should we be playing 2 Ishin? I mean, like, is that a thing we need to be doing? And then just, because really, unless it's, I'm trying to think. All right, whenever attack deals combat damage, that's not even an attack trigger. That's just a combat damage. So really, Ryu's the only one that has a true attack trigger, right? Everything else is just, oh, that's not true. Well, I mean, I guess this just gains lifelink. So, I mean, whether you gain it once or twice doesn't change anything. So really, the only time Ishin would probably be good here is if we put this, or if we had Ishin and Ryu, I guess, would be the difference. Ishin plus Ryu would let you get a 3rd attack step. I think that would be the only thing. Oh, actually, no, it doesn't, because it says if it's the first combat phase. Oh, yeah, I guess it would, because the one it's triggering on is the first. So you would get 3. So that's like the only combo. Yes, I am working on some Reanimator ideas. There will definitely be something Reanimator down the road. It's not so much that it gave us Reanimator cards. We already had several that were okay. It's more about big things we can reanimate, right? Like, you have, like, Jin Gataxius now that you could just try to reanimate. I don't know if that's any good, but it's, like, another big, dumb guy that you can try to get into play. So, maybe. I mean, I don't really know. I'm just tossing it out there, saying maybe it's a thing. All right, so what I would consider here, then, let's look at equipment. I think we play the new sword for a couple of copies, maybe. But if we do that, what do we get? We could get haste, double strike. Is haste and double strike really all we're going to be able to get? And first strike, but first strike, double strike, same thing effectively. I guess that's what we do. Yeah, I'm not sure. But I mean, a couple of these, I guess is what we're looking for. Lion Sash, I'm torn on. I'm going to be honest. Like, I'm a little torn on Lion Sash because if you don't, like, it's not a good early drop. Because there's nothing in the graveyard yet, right? So if you get it on, like, turn 6 or something and a couple of creatures have died here or there, well, now you can do some really powerful things. But if not, then it doesn't really do nearly enough. Yeah, I was just thinking that, too, about the Core Blade Master. Like, we have some warriors, but then our samurai don't. I mean, really, only Ryu even cares about warrior or samurai. Like, Rezona doesn't even care. I mean, cool if we can get an indestructible counter on her, and she has haste. That's kind of the reason I'm letting her still make the cut. But I don't even know if that's right, though. I mean, seriously. Like, should we cut one? I don't even know if we need 24 lands in. We'd probably get away with 23 with all the like 1s and 2s in here. What if we just played the one Rezona and we cut... Man, that's a lot of 1-mana things. I probably could get away with one less of these somewhere. Probably that. And then... Man, I don't know. This is tough. I was thinking maybe you could play like Reckless Stormseeker could go in that slot. Potentially. What cares else about being equipped that could go there? Like, there's not a lot of great choices, really. There's not a bunch. Could play Rip Apart. I mean, I thought about that. We're not really playing any removal of any kind. But I almost feel like this is a deck I'm willing to just gamble on. You know, like, if we just get hit, we get hit. And just try to race. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Like, I'm willing to ride Shields down, I think. And just take that gamble. Yeah, I mean, we could also just play a top end of, like, you know, typical stuff. Goldspan Dragons or whatever, potentially. That's not the worst thing. Not great, but it's not the worst either. Yeah, there's really not a lot. There's not a lot. I mean, not if you're trying to incorporate the Samurai. Like, there's a bunch of stuff we could do if we just want to do Warriors. We have a couple different builds with just Warriors, which are fine. Like, they're playable. But when people want to see Samurai, I'm just trying to find a spot for some of them. And I don't know if there is a good spot for them. Let's look at 3-mana creatures and just see if I'm missing something. Like, what could go in that spot? I mean, I guess there's still Spellbinders and Brutal Cathars and that type of stuff. You do get Cloudsteel Kieran. You can try not to lose the game, putting that on something. Yeah, not a lot. Not a lot. I mean, Redain's fine. Not great. I was wondering if there's just something else quality here, but... Yeah, I think so. The Warrior builds might just be better, flat out. I mean, like I said, I'm willing to try it, play it, see how it goes. At least be able to tell people, look, we gave it a go. We tried. It did or it didn't work. Whatever. But... Yeah. I mean, I was trying to think, too, if maybe there's a vehicle or something that could be worth playing. I wasn't too sure about that. But, I mean, there's probably something. I feel like there's, like, we have 2 slots. Maybe even 3 slots, depending on how I want to fit this. So I'm just trying to, like, go through the motions, make sure I'm not missing anything that could be reasonable, that could be worth playing. Whenever the cover unit attacks... I mean, the problem is this isn't really aggressive. But it does crew for only 2, which... Sadly, we do have some things that wouldn't be able to crew it easily. But we have a lot of things that cost 2 that we could get back, which wouldn't be terrible. Dragon Suit's also cool because it flies. But yeah, not much we would play here vehicle-wise. So those don't really qualify to help, sadly. Wanderer does make a Samurai. Unfortunately, it does not make a Warrior. I don't mind the card, though. I think the card's good. I would definitely consider playing it. Lizard Blades is already in here. We have 3 copies. Yeah, Bankbuster is okay. I don't even know if this is a Bankbuster type deck, though, because we're going to be spending mana equipping and moving stuff around, so it's probably not even a card we want. It sounds sad, but I might just go, like, 2 Goldspan Dragons and just call it good. like, just... You know what? Just a couple of Goldspan. If we draw them, we draw them. Why not? I mean, I'm sure there's something better. I mean, realistically, there's bound to be something better. But for now, I'm willing to gamble with this and just see what we do. Just double checking things. I mean, could we get a... I was just thinking if we could get away with 23 land and just play a 4th Charger, which I think I might try, honestly. What is the red-white land? Oh, I didn't even know that worked. I was just like, let me just tap red under lands and see what happens. But I'll be damned if it didn't work. Oh, no, it didn't. It didn't give me the ones I want, though. Oh, that's weird. So, it gives me the gain life lands and snow-covered lands, but it doesn't give me... Oh, that is so weird. Why is that not a thing? Oh, because it's showing basic ones, maybe? That's so weird. Huh. I didn't know that was a thing. You'd think after using Arena all this time, I would know how to, like, search for stuff. But I always just do it the hard way. Because I've never known the other way. Sundown Pass. That's what I was looking for. Couldn't remember the name for some reason. Field of Ruins, fine. I feel like I'm sort of just willing to gamble with Field of Ruin. Just kind of okay with it. Mostly because we will need the colored mana, right? If we're trying to move Rabid Battery around, we need mana for that, for sure. We do have double colors in a lot of our upper costs. I mean, we could still play 1 or 2 and probably get away with it. So I'm not opposed to a couple. Oh, you're talking about hit the gold circle to find stuff? Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if Ryu's even worth playing. I mean, it does first strike, and that's a real thing. So I don't hate that. I mean, I think it's fine. I just don't know if it's particularly better than a lot of other stuff we could do. But only one way to find out, right? Play at least one Field of Ruin, I guess. We'll get that in there. We have a fair amount of red, whites. Trying if there's anything else we want to do here. This is probably it. Not the most exciting thing, but you know what? Let's go try. Alright, let's go see what's up. I don't think this is going to be great, but we'll find out. Yeah, Hoffrey's too expensive. If I was going to play Hoffrey for 5, I'd either play another Goldspan Dragon or I'd just put Bruner in the list. I think that'd be better. Actually, you know, now that I'm thinking about it, though, is there anything that gives stuff trample in these colors? That's a real question. Because with the big equipments, like, maybe occasionally that could be good. Atsushi's neat. It's a good recovery card. Especially with us having haste things. Maybe that's worth playing over Goldspan Dragon to at least try it out. And obviously, Angel Fire Ignition's fine. Haven't seen anything spirit-based since this set hit. We'll probably get around to doing spirit things at some point, but I don't think spirit's got a big boost. I think there's a couple things that are spirits, but nothing that stood out to me particularly. Huh. I'm just thinking, like, how good is Angel of Fire Ignition for this list? Because, like, getting the counters could be pretty strong. Yeah, my problem with Lunar Frenzy is this isn't a deck where we're going to have a lot of available mana. Like I said, with us moving the equipment around and stuff, we probably won't have a lot. Yeah, Eater of Virtue it can give you the ability to trample if we had something else with trample. Like right now, we can get double strike, first strike, and there was one other ability we could get out of these, right? Haste. So, like, that's all we can really get from the sword. But yeah, I think at this point I'm just kind of overthinking it. I don't think this is particularly great, to be honest with you. I think if we're going to do this, there are just better things we could be doing other than slamming the warriors in with the samurai, but maybe I'm wrong. But I did say if somebody could come up with a really good samurai deck before the alchemy drop, because I think alchemy's for going to drop a couple of angels and samurais. Like, I would pay a reward, but nobody's presented anything. Also, don't forget to like the video while y'all are here. Okay, what are we going to do with this? This is actually reasonable. We'll keep it. Alright, would like some more mana somewhere along the way. That would help a bunch. Alright. We're going to deal with our Usher of the Fallen. Just going to play a Bank Buster here. Huh. Well. I guess we'll go ahead and do this. Ooh, is there somebody that reduces equip cost? I mean, I know Bruner makes equip cost 0 for a turn, which is pretty big stuff. Portable hole, there goes our blades. Yep, not a surprise. I guess we go ahead and roll this. Why not? Opponent goes to 14. And another portable hole. It's one of those decks. Alright, fair enough. Yep. This is why you need all the haste creatures. This is not really gonna cut it. But I'm trying to think what I want to do here. What if we... I mean, we could do this and this, put Halvar down on the backside, then try to equip Halvar next turn. Maybe that's a thing. Because then if we get another land, we could play that. Well, to get double strike, yeah, maybe. I doubt it, but maybe. It's a possibility. Yeah, Tezzeret's also blue. Fighter class? That's maybe worth considering. Alright, well, I'm your Huckleberry. We didn't draw land here, so we're kind of just up against it, unfortunately. Not a lot we can do. Just fading hope at opponent. I know you want to. Oh my gosh, let's go. Like, what are we doing? Alright, sure, exile my dude. I don't know if I'd say that's good. It's at least reasonable. I mean, there is a mana investment and time investment there. Though that being said, we're not drawing land or whatever anyway, so, you know, nothing here is going to go as it should. I mean, yeah, we're not winning this one. Like, we've been stuck at 3 for 5 turns now, so that's just not going to get us anywhere. And the opponent still had a ton of life, so we deserve to lose that. But yeah, we needed something there. We needed one of our haste creatures. We needed some combination of different things. And here's the other problem too. Even playing that samurai that gets indestructible doesn't greatly help because, as you see, there's a bunch of stuff that just exiles right now. You know, Rite of Oblivion, you know, the Borrowed Time. Like, there's so many things. Reckless Crew feels a little dangerous. I don't know if I'm in on Reckless Crew. I mean, it might be the right answer, but Reckless Crew feels like a little bit of a bridge too far for me. No, actually, Nahiri's not as good as you think. I have played Nahiri in other lists, and it's not as good as you think. It's not bad. I mean, she's not terrible. But I wish I had a good way to describe it. Like, until all I can say is play with it, and then after you play with it, you'll see that like there's a lot of times you're gonna have Nahiri, and it's just not gonna be as good as most planeswalkers. I'll still play her occasionally if it makes sense, or I have enough equipment things that I can just like attach stuff to or whatever. But that's right, I did get mana this time. I got too much mana from the looks of things. You know what? I'm willing to attack here. If you want to trade, I'll trade that. Like, I'm totally okay with this if you're willing to trade. Nope, opponent did not want to trade. Interesting. Well, I left the mana up because if they blocked, then I probably would have made the token. But since they didn't, we're just going to do this. And we'll just see what's up. That's true. Resolute Strike, I could probably add some of those. Resolute Strike's actually pretty good. They have their own Eater of Virtue. So they can give something menaced. Alright. That's a thing. My opponent don't even care. They're just like, take 3, fool. Okay then. I guess this is just what we're doing. Alright. What you got? Because I don't know what's going on here. Any channel lands? No. I mean, I'll put them in later. I just don't have them in this particular build. I'm just tossing this together. If you control a modified creature, it deals X+2. Yeah, alright. That's fine. An opponent is not respecting anything. They're just like, whatever, we're going to keep attacking. Yeah, I mean, I guess. I mean, if you just got another kill spell, you got another kill spell. I mean, I can't not play stuff. Which I'm assuming they're just going to kill Ryu here. No, they did not. Okay. Interesting. Ooh. So now what do we do? We could play the blades. Attack. I mean, again, it doesn't have trample or anything, so... We could give this double strike and attack with that. Juiced up. Let's see. Attack zone, its first attack step. So it doesn't get any other abilities. It just gets that. Okay. So, I mean, I guess we do this. Just attached to what? Probably this, since it already has first strike. I mean, now this has double strike, though. Alright. I mean, whatever's whatever, I guess. I mean, I don't know what we're going to do with that. All right. Put the opponent at 7. And this is kind of my concern, right? You get in these situations, but, like, even though you have your samurais and whatever, like, there's no flyers, there's no nothing. You're just kind of just sitting here. Okay. So, do we need to equip up Ryu and attack with it? Because right now, if we attack, Even though it's double strike, they double block. Well, yeah, it wouldn't do anything. All right, I guess we just do this. See what the opponent wants to do about it. All right, let's make a duder. And then we'll attack again. Gain some more life. Actually, we can attack with both of these this time. Let's say I can do 7. I'm like double checking, like, can they possibly kill us? Like, maybe. Meh. I don't know about that. Let's just attack with this. No need to get too greedy. I mean, we could have also moved the swords over to this and attacked, and that would have been viable, so we might have missed some action there. Because if we'd have moved the lizard blades over for the next attack, this would have been 4, and either one of these would have been 3. So yeah, they would have had to have blocked the 4, and we put the opponent at 1. Still had a blocker back, so that could have been better. That impulse draws when we attack alone? Maybe. The problem is we don't really want to attack alone. That's really the bad part to samurais. Like, you're trying to go wide, but you don't really want to be attacking with just one thing. That's the problem. Like if I have all these bodies, I want to be doing all the things with the bodies. Oh, I can only do it once per turn anyway. It's not when it attacks on the boast. Oh, that sucks. Just this turn. Oh, well, hell, then I definitely should have moved it over. I didn't even get a benefit from that. That's the worst. I mean, I got lifelink, so, I mean, it's not nothing, but still. Blah. Alright. I don't know what the opponent's going to do here. I feel like we're mostly okay, and there's a bunch of good top decks we could get here. I mean, if we get anything that gives equip stuff, double strike, if we get a gold span dragon, if we get just like a bunch of things are good here. Yeah, this is exactly my concern with this card. It's like, except against control scenarios, I don't know how often this card's going to be good. Because even now, it's like, okay, you played it, but then what? Right? Your opponent just has dudes you run into. And there's no great attack here for the opponent because we have 2 first strikers that can block their 3/2. Like, even if you equip, because that only gives +2/+0, right? Yep. But you do get to tap a creature, so you get to kill one thing. So that's relevant. Alright, sure. Yeah, okay. Is that just like a concession attack? Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't know what they were trying to do there. But here's the thing, like... Technically getting a card for attacking alone is a thing. I agree. The problem is, if I'm playing creatures, I want to be using my mana and doing things, or finding cards like the equipment cards that like are just resilient to sweepers or whatever anyway. Because if I'm like, if I'm playing samurais to go wide, I don't want to be attacking with just a single thing. Because in the current metagame, attacking with a single thing is not good. There's a bunch of spot removal. There's just a ton of things that make attacking with a single creature bad. Plus, there's a bunch of stuff in the way that, okay, cool, I'm attacking with one thing. I may be getting a card, but when am I getting ahead? You know, is the other thing. I feel like there is a world where that's probably going to be fine, and that card will show up in some list. Because I agree with you. Getting a card every time you attack is actually fine. but I'm not sure what the rest of the stuff around it looks like. Like, I'm not just tossing it in this list and being like, well, sometimes I'll attack with one thing and that's cool. Like, even with Ryu there, I'm pretty sure my attacks were wrong. I should have just been attacking, like on that last turn, should have just moved the equipment and then just attack with everything. And that would have been the correct attack. But because I was trying to attack with one thing and see what's going on, it actually was the wrong attack. There should be more events like commons and uncommons. I don't know. Artisan stuff's fine. Like, they seem to do that, rotate it through fairly regularly. I mean, the reality is, just like in paper magic, like, there's a reason there's a ceiling on how popular, like, Pauper can be or whatever. Like, people want to play with their cards, right? Like, you open up stuff, people want to do it. People want to play the cool combos. People want to do whatever. That's why Commander's fun, right? People can find all their random cards they never get to play with and have a home for them. Like, just being a bunch of commons and uncommons isn't quite enough to get people motivated all the time. I think it's good for an alternative. I think it's good that it exists, and I think it should exist for people that want it to be there. I don't know how much it benefits Wizards all the time to just have it be a perpetual format. I mean, because one of the things you do have to look out for, and I don't know what the numbers are, so I can't speak to that. But one of the things you do have to look out for is having too many formats available for everybody to play in. Because at some point, you start getting these situations where you don't have enough people in any of the queues, so people get a reasonably short wait time, right? It's kind of like what we run into in team fight tactics. Like, there's a new release, I think might be today or tomorrow, but there's like a new set update coming, right? So for the last week, your times get longer and longer and longer because you don't have people in the queue. They're just like, well, I'll just wait for the next set or whatever. And if you have people playing Alchemy, Standard, Historic, Modern, various sealed, drafts, Pauper, Brawl, whatever, Artisan, blah, blah, right? Like, there's so many things that, like, at some point, it's like, how many people are in each queue? Doesn't seem like Samurais really want to go wide. Their payoffs, to the extent there are any payoffs, reward going tall. Yes, but you still have to have a wide board to go tall. That's the problem with Samurais. That's what I was talking about, right? You want to have 4 Samurai that all say, when this thing attacks, we're all giving you this awesome ability, so you're rewarded for attacking with just one thing. Because otherwise, attacking just one thing into your opponent's pile of things is actually really bad. So you're still going wide. You're not attacking wide, but you're still going wide, right? You want to have 4 or 5 different Samurai that are giving you lifelink, give you an extra attack step, letting you trigger more than once, right? But now you're susceptible to both sweepers and spot removal. So you're not, because the whole thing about being able to go wide and attack is that you're forcing your opponent, okay, cool, until you get that sweeper, there's damage coming, there's this thing happen, whatever. But you don't get that benefit with Samurai because most of them aren't that greatly costed. They're kind of just okay creatures. And again, they're on the ground, they're not really doing much of anything. You at least have Ryu, like I said, which has first strike, and that helps. Ishin's at least cool. It's a 3/4 for 3. That's not like exciting. It doesn't have other abilities on its own, but it's at least a sizable body for 3 mana. But yeah, it's tough, That's part of the weirdness of Samurai's Boros colors. Once they go wide, they don't want to go tall. Yeah, I don't even think it's the colors thing. I think it's just the way the creatures were built. Like, if each creature also said, like, when I attack alone, there's this thing, and there was extra added benefits to everything, and then, I don't know, maybe you had more that were like, I don't know, when you attacked alone, I doubled my power, or anything, right? Just anything that made a singular creature attacking alone more substantial. The problem is, if you're playing the Samurai, you might still be just attacking with the 3/3. You get an extra attack step, that's cool. And you're hoping you have some number of other cards in play that triggered because you're attacking by itself. The only good Samurai to play with is Ryu. Yeah, exactly. I agree with you. I think Ryu's good, and I think the lifelink one's quality because it also just saves a creature. You can sacrifice it, protect something. So I think that those two are the ones probably to play. It's the other ones that aren't great, I don't think. And they can kind of just show up in decks on their own and be occasionally fine. And like I said, Ryu's not spectacular, because if you're already in red, there's some dragons and stuff that are probably better to have, but at least it does something by itself, being a 3/3 first striker or whatever. And I think there's something to at least be said for that, and it's reasonable. But yeah, I don't know, man. Like Samurai, I just don't think. They should have just made Samurai thing exalted. Yeah, like I will say this. Like I'm not a fan of having a bunch of new abilities all the time. Like if I had my way at R&D, I would like, okay, we're going to get maybe 2, possibly 3 new abilities on the course of the year. And then we'd get like recycled keywords. Cuz people don't realize we have like 150 ability words in Magic. Like it's an insane amount if you go back and look. Like it's a pile. I would like for there not to be, but I don't get the one that makes that decision. But yeah, Exalted, and then that's the thing. Exalted was good because you're attacking by yourself. You're also getting like +3 or +4, right? So if you found a way to give it First Strike or Trample or Lifelink or whatever, you were getting this huge bonus for attacking with the thing by itself, right? But the way we're built right now, like you're still only a 3/3. You're hoping you have some number of abilities that trigger because you attacked by yourself, but you're not getting a new ability. You're not getting it. You're just triggering other stuff and hoping that's enough, right? Exalted was way, way better. And plus, Exalted, you got quality creatures on their own on rate that happen to also have Exalted on top of it. Like, Exalted was really good by comparison. Ryu optimized well with targeted buffs. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I'm not arguing that. Like, it's a fine card on its own to do that. No, didn't bring back Bushido either. They could have different daily quests for different formats to incentivize users playing different formats. Again, that gets to be too much. Like, most people would just ignore them and spin them again. Like, because really, I'd be one of those people. I'd be like, okay, hey, do this thing in Historic and get a thing. And I'd be like, cool, I'd just spin it till a regular one or a standard one came up. I'd probably never do it. So those don't really motivate people that much. Like, same way now, if people get one that's like, I guarantee you there are people that look and go like, oh, this is cast 20 blue spells. I'm never going to build a blue deck. And then they'll just spin it and get something else. So if you give them a format they have to play or do a certain thing, there's no way. Like, those are definitely not getting completed. Like, the reason the daily rewards are the way they are is they're probably the most simplest worded or basic things that people can at least achieve without having to go way out of their way. That's probably the only reason they're worth. I know people are like, oh, I'd love to have more complicated dailies or whatever, but the average person just wouldn't do them. Like, knowing how players think and how they operate, like, and you have a lot of people that get on and they play like Arena for an hour or two a day, right? If they're not going to build a new deck to do some obscure thing when that's going to take them 30, 45 minutes and they only have an hour and a half to play, right? That's just not going to be a thing. Like, that's just not the way people use games and the programs and play Magic. Like, so, I mean, I get it. I'm with you. It would be neat, and I'd be cool for it to exist for other people who want it. I just don't know how much effort it is to program it, track it, put it in, whatever, for such a small part of the audience to even really use it. When I'm sure they can see the numbers and see how many of them even now get reduced. Hell, there's still people that see mine and they're like, why don't you try to spin that so you can make it a 500 into a 700 or whatever? I'm like, I don't care that much. I just, literally, I can't even remember the last time I even touched my dailies because I'm just playing different decks. I just hit them whenever I hit them. Like, I don't even, like today, it's cast 20 black or red spells. I need to cast 6 more things. I'll probably end up doing that this evening, just randomly messing around. I may not even finish it today. It might get finished tomorrow. But I literally, until just now when I looked at it, I had no idea what it even said. I don't even look at my dailies. Because I'm usually on at least like 5 or 6 days a week anyway. So I'm probably going to hit them and they're going to trigger. So I don't really worry about it. It's just kind of a thing. But like I said, if it was different formats, then I for sure would just pop it off the format into something else and try to hit one that I can actually hit. Because like I haven't even played Historic pretty much the whole pandemic. Like, so over 2 years, I think, since I've played Historic. It's just, for whatever reason, hasn't been anything for me, hasn't excited me, so I just haven't bothered with it. So if you put one up that's Historic, I probably wouldn't. If it was like, hey, play a draft, get, I don't know, however many, get 1,000 points. I'd be like, do I want to play a draft to get a booster pack? Probably not. Like, and that's actually pretty reasonable, and I probably still wouldn't want to. Like right now, I still have, I don't know, 11 draft token, 2 sealed token. So I got another one since last time. So at some point, I need to use those. I mean, because it's basically just free cards sitting there. I just haven't dedicated time to drafting, which I need to do at some point. But, like, just hasn't been a thing. But yeah, I don't know, y'all. I like Samurai, they're fine. I just don't know if they're better than they're really it's really a warrior deck you're gonna end up building, just splashing for some number of samurai. I think that's really the way to go if you want to play samurai right now. But like I said, I would keep an eye on alchemy because it's supposed to come out 30 days after the set release, and it's supposed to be like some 25, 30 cards. I would bet there's going to be at least 2 quality ninjas and 2 quality samurai, and that's going to set the decks off. Because if samurai had another good like 2 mana thing and a 3 mana thing, there'd probably be a viable deck to play mostly samurai in there, and maybe like one spell that supports them, right? Ninja need like 1 or 2 more cards to be like a quality deck. So like you'll probably get a couple of ninjas that matter in those lists, or cards that support ninjas, right? And I think that changes things a lot. There's a lot of people that like draft too, but you know, just not a thing for me. Your first set was Zendikar. I'm also not playing Historic. Fair enough. In this standard, the board whites have made my attempts at Samurai constructed terrible, but in Limited, I've been doing all right. Well, yeah, Limited's a whole different ballgame. Wish they would do Friday Night Magic Standard. Local stores, that's all I can really tell you. You know, local scenes that do it on Arena. The problem is on Arena, you can play Standard all the time. You know what I mean? Like, so I get why they try to make the midweek challenges and stuff just different formats, because it's not really a thing to be like, hey, this week the midweek format is Standard. And it's like, well, we've been playing Standard. You know what I mean? It's just not that exciting for people. Whereas when you're doing Standard once a week at your local store, it's like you probably haven't played Paper Magic all week, so you show up on Friday and play Standard. If I've been playing Standard all weekend and then we get to Wednesday and you're like, the midweek showdown is Standard, it'd be like, oh, okay. And then people just don't care. Right? So I get why it's not. It just there's no motivation if you do that, because the way the system's set up, unfortunately. Yeah, I don't know. That's the best explanation I've got for you. But yeah, like I said, I will eventually do some draft content. I just have to figure out the way to do it so it makes sense for y'all to have something entertaining and fun for me to do. Because I don't really enjoy playing the draft games when I know I could be putting that time toward fixing any of these millions of decks I'm working on, right? But I don't mind drafting, helping people draft, learn good picks, bad picks, whatever, go through that whole thing, and then explain like the builds you could make. That would be fun for me. Playing the games wouldn't. So I have to find a way to present that content in a way that is good for the viewers still. Don't know what that is yet, but whenever I figure that out, I'll probably put it up. Or if enough people just, I don't care, I want to see you do something with Limited, and then I'll probably just toss up a couple videos. I guess that's why WotC didn't change daily quests since Magic Duels. The client existed before Arena. Well, I wouldn't call Magic Duels a client. Duels of the Planeswalkers was just a whole video game. Right? That wasn't really a client or a platform. That just video game existed on all the different game systems. But yeah, similar for sure. You know, though, the Samurai deck could play Goro Goro. We can go back and put a couple of those in there. That's probably better, honestly. I'd probably enjoy that more, because you can give other stuff haste when you play it. Occasionally make a dragon. I don't know how often we would, but it's a thing you could do. And that's probably better. So I'd probably look at doing that. Matter of fact, I may do that now while it's on top of my mind. Because Rizona's neat, but I don't think Rizona solves anything, I guess is the best way to look at that. And I don't know, it is still a haste creature though, even if we don't have our other stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I'll just put 2 Goro Goro for now. And we'll come back to this at some point in the future, and I will try to figure something out. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's viable. I think it's doable. But like I said, you're going to be more warrior equipment than you are samurai, and that's just kind of, I think, what you got to deal with. I don't think there's really a way around that. But yeah, I have another Boros artifact list that's a little bit different. Mono white aggro, some Gruul stuff we're working on, Golgari enchantments. I got a Rakdos Sacrifice that'll probably show up in a couple of days on the channel. Have some stuff in the preseason I still haven't played either. A Golgari Elves deck that y'all still never even saw. Another regular Rakdos aggro, mono blue tempo. The Azorius Auras, which I have no idea if this is any good or not. I think I need to update it a little bit. Now I've played with the set a little bit. There's some different choices I would have. For real, don't know if it's good or not. It may not be, but probably still going to try it and see if we can turn it into something, because I don't really know. But yeah, there's at least things. There's choices, right? Stuff we can do. So we just have to check that out. But I got to go work on a podcast, y'all. My co-host is going to be waiting on me here in another couple of minutes. So I got to go get that done. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's Color of Magic. You can download it pretty much everywhere you get your gaming podcast or whatever. We're proud of ourselves because we like to talk about stuff that's a little more in-depth, more social issues, more things around gaming and Magic that aren't just things on the tabletop. Though we do talk about like set releases and stuff. But it's not kind of like our main content. We talk about a bunch of different stuff. So if you kind of want something a little bit different, a little entertaining, a little different perspective, check that out. Otherwise, like this video, be sure, share with your friends, all that wonderful stuff. Follow me here on the YouTubes. I appreciate y'all so much. I really do. But I gotta go, unfortunately. But we will probably be on streaming sometime tomorrow for a little bit. And hopefully have a new layout to the streams if I can get that done tonight. So